WCS points. This, for these two players, is about getting that monkey off their back and winning a major title.
And I cannot stress how important emotionally it is for both of these players. Bomber without a win in over 2 years, or 2 years exactly, sorry, and Jaedong without a StarCraft 2 win at all. So close, so many times, 2 DreamHack finals, the North American Premier League final, and now this one. If he was to fall short second again, I don't know what that would do to him, Artosis. There's only so many times you can have money under the end of that rod in front of him.
It is so true, Apollo. You know, he's just going to get angrier and angrier. He's got to win a tournament eventually, but this is really the one that you want to win. The only tournament that's more important than this year would be BlizzCon itself.
Both of these players looking to be able to play at BlizzCon as well, but we do have the game now starting to get underway. Bomber choosing a classic strategy, command center first, followed by the barracks, and then the gas right behind it, and Jaedong's picked up all the information necessary. And as kind of predicted, a slower start to game number 1 here. Both players looking for the time being to play this out a little bit longer, but there is one difference compared to the normal playstyle that we see from both races, is that Jaedong's opted for a very, very early Zergling speed.
You know, that Zergling speed definitely could come into play here. If Bomber doesn't figure out that that's coming so fast, then he may not have his wall up all the way. If he doesn't know it's coming, you can get in there, maybe pick off a mule or two, some SCVs, force a lift, maybe even kill some Marines. There is a possibility that Jaedong can get off to an early lead.
We talked about Bomber's games yesterday against Scarlet with his different openings each time to throw his opponent off. But Jaedong, just coming off the semi-final, was on top of his scouting, saw absolutely everything before it even begun. That surely must give him an edge, a slight edge against Bomber in this series.
I think I have to agree with you there, Apollo, and that speed is finishing up pretty quickly here. We'll be seeing if he's going to make a lot of Zerglings rather soon. And if he does, if we do see that plume of Zerglings, I'm getting a little bit afraid for Bomber. He really doesn't have much intel right now.
Well, Jaedong pokes up there and sees that there has not been a wall constructed around in there. There are 16 Zerglings do come in, but 2 supply depots have been thrown around the bunker so far. Is he going to complete the wall off in time?
You know what? We'll see if he actually adds, and it looks like he's adding the depots. This could turn out bad for Jaedong.
It's not too much of an over-investment, but still, 16 Zerglings is a lot in the first place here. And with 1 supply depot, which should come down here, Bomber just shuts the wall. And if, well, okay, make sure that is actually shut here. And that's a waste of 16 Zerglings here. And Bomber, upon seeing this, will have a grin on his face. He will be like, all right, this is a good start for me.
All right, well, Jaedong looks like he's about to poke up and see what's going on. And it looks like he finally does realize that, in fact, there is a full wall, and with Hellions behind it, he must run away. So this actually puts Bomber in a slight economical advantage as far as the early game goes.
Absolutely, because those 16 Zerglings that were made absolutely could have been 8 additional drones been thrown in. He didn't need to have all of these Zerglings. They've done nothing for him. And then Bomber on the other side of things has set up quite nicely. He's got a 3rd command center down as well. And this is definitely a bit of an advantage for the StarTale player to start this series off.
Well, his Zerglings may still turn out useful. We'll see if he can get us around on these Hellions, but the Hellions coming down, attacking the Zerglings, and Jaedong having to retreat, Bomber on top of things.
12 more Zerglings are coming out from Jaedong to make sure he can deal with these Hellions. I deal with Lovis around, but he is losing Zerglings left and right here. So far, so good for Bomber, who's thrown down double barracks behind this, double engineering bay as well to make sure he can upgrade his units. Jaedong just about to start with his 1-1 upgrades as well here.
Well, we'll see what can get done with these Hellions. He wants to prevent as much creep spread as possible, but that's why those extra lings were made. Jaedong wants to have enough lings to kill the Hellions if they overcommit and chase them back so the creep can be made, and here we go. He's going for this round, overthinks it, and goes past those Hellions, but it looks like he catches at least 1 so far.
1's gone down, the 2nd one and 3rd one are going to get surrounded here, and Jaedong will clean up 3 of the 4 and probably get the 4th here momentarily. And finally he is able to get rid of these Hellions as Bomber realizes that one's not going to do anything more, just throws it onto the edge of creep. But now we're really set up. Jaedong's droning, he's taken all the gases, he's got his layer on the way a little bit slow with his +1 carapace there. It's a little bit not together, a little bit disjointed. A scan does come down here from Bomber, which sees double evolution chamber, sees the gas is thrown in. He knows that he's not playing up against aggression here with that scan.
That is exactly true. Probably nothing coming after him anytime soon, at least until after layer with those extra gases. So Bomber can calm down with any defenses, but he is making additional siege tanks here. And with those siege tanks, you know, yeah, you're going to be very safe, but with no aggression incoming and a very likely Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisk composition, it's not really going to be that helpful.
Well, I mean, what do you reckon the choice is here? I mean, what's the reasoning for tanks over the traditional, what we see game after game, Widow Mines coming out here? He's chosen it for a reason, surely.
Yeah, you know, I feel like it's a safety measure, but Bomber is an old school StarCraft 2 player. I know that he's very comfortable using siege tanks in the matchup, but it does make me a bit afraid, because if I look at these upgrades, Apollo, look at this. He's getting Burrow and he's getting the Spire. So we're actually going to see things such as Zerglings burrowed on movement paths. We're going to see just a great creep spread. Baneling speed, no doubt, going to come soon. I mean, this is going to be a very hard game to win with a siege tank-based composition.
Well, we'll see how that's going to work out here for Bomber as Jaedong takes a fourth as well. But we do have a medivac drop on the way here for Bomber, utilizing that airspace in between the bases that we talked about before. And he's going to drop just outside the vision here of Jaedong, who doesn't quite know that it's there. Oh, no, actually, sorry, excuse me, he does see it, so this shouldn't really do anything.
Yeah, looks like he will be able to clean that up pretty easily. But Bomber's got to be out on the map showing himself like this. One thing I do want to note is that Jaedong hasn't actually started Baneling speed yet, so it's a little bit scary.
Yeah, that's something he's going to have to get now, and +2 carapace as well is missing as he throws a lot of money, a lot of his gas into 10 Mutalisk now, making sure that he can deal with these drops, deal with those tanks. Widow Mine production has begun as well as the second factory here, so Bomber is switching things up a little bit. But we're about to see Bomber really ramp it up a couple of levels. He's going to start dropping. He's got him 2 medivacs here where he can deny creep, pick off loose units, pick up if anything happens to his units if they were to get surrounded.
Well, he is pushing forward. We should be seeing that scan. There it goes down. Starting to get rid of some of these tumors, but a lot of Lings and Banes coming along with the Mutas. He's going to have to boost out of there. And if he goes too far, the Mutas will clean up little parties like that.
Still no Baneling speed here, though. +2 carapaces come in. So far, Jaedong's forgot about it. That's going to mean that his Baneling's going to have a very hard time connecting. Remember, though, that there's like 3 or 4 tanks. There's a lot of Widow Mines coming out now. So he's really actually going to need Baneling speed to engage properly. Any fight that Bomber takes. And at this point, Bomber's not ready to fight, but he will be, I'd say, in the next 60 seconds because his 2 short frames are about to complete. And as these complete is when Bomber gets really hungry to start doing damage over to Jaedong, especially because Jaedong has a base, you know, almost in the center of the map. Baneling speed now just starting.
And you know what?
Just in time, maybe.
Jaedong right now, Apollo, is on 81 drones, so he is all about units. He's going to have his 2-2, and when that Baneling speed does start, Bomber has to be careful if he's out in the map, because without a high Widow Mine count, we could see Jaedong just run him over like we saw before from Scarlet in so many games this weekend.
Well, Baneling speed isn't ready. Jaedong cannot really engage without Baneling speed being ready there, so we'll have to wait for that to complete before Jaedong can take a good fight. If he takes one without it, it's going to be a lot easier for Bomber to take a fight. There are 2 board Banelings there.
Ooh.
Jaedong looking for the best
orb. This could turn out to be big, and he does scan, gets rid of it, but the Baneling speed is not ready, as you said, Apollo. He does have to pull back for now.
And this is going to allow Bomber to go into a very good position here. Widow Mines around the tanks as well. This is excellent for Bomber. And Jaedong, through forgetting Baneling speed here, this has put him in a bit of a disastrous position. Bomber's taking the high ground. Bomber's going to spread his units around here and look for a siege onto this base for Jaedong. Jaedong has to flank. He has to come in at the right time, at the right angle.
Well, the Baneling speed has finally finished, and here we go. Jaedong going in, picking off a few units, some Widow Mines and a siege tank, not taking too much damage.
Here he comes, Autosis from a couple of angles. This is how Jaedong's going to try to defend. I think Bomber may be okay here.
A huge mine hit right there, but Jaedong with so many Banelings rolling in, cleaning up just about every Marine.
There's a couple here at the back. One Baneling does get in there. The Mutalisk are going to chase this away, but more and more units are coming from Bomber, and the Mutalisk are taking damage. Bomber's on the forward roll, and Jaedong's got to be careful here. He's morphing a couple more banelings, 11 to be exact, but they're not ready yet. Bomber sees them morphing. I think he should try to get in there to prevent them from actually coming out of the cocoons, and well, they're all getting killed off here, Autosis. This is disastrous.
That is so painful. He can't be losing this fourth base, Apollo. It's so important to have 4 bases against the 3 of your opponent playing Mutiling Bane, but Jaedong is going to lose it.
Look at the mini-map. The just red stream of units from Bomber coming across. Jaedong's going to attempt to defend one more time. Bomber spreads his units behind the mineral lines. Jaedong is going to clear it up for now, but remember, all the units still coming for Bomber, and they're only just now getting into the fight. And look at that spread as well from Bomber, taking a supply lead. He's killed off a base from Jaedong. He does have another one up north here, and 11 more Mobilis coming out. But Jaedong needs a big engagement, otherwise Bomber's momentum's going to carry him through.
It truly is. There's just not many Zerglings, only 2 out on the map, and 2 Banes as well. Some are trying to morph, but he's got a mostly Mutalisk-based army, and against these 2/2 Marines with Widow Mines, it's impossible to fully engage.
Yeah, Bomber's just put Jaedong on the back foot, on the ropes, as some may say. Jaedong's trying to fight back, trying to look for a cost-efficient engagement. This is not it, as Bomber comes in, and Bomber looking to start off like he wants to take series and map number way away from Jaedong, who's fighting head-on with Mulus. They are not going to do very well. GG!
Bomber taking game number 1 against Jaedong with his very good standard macro play. Jaedong, on the other hand, though, Apollo, for getting that Bane